Welcome to Six Count. I'm your host, Xara Wilde, bringing you the voices and stories of jazz from Durham, North Carolina. Kevin, thank you so much for speaking with me tonight on your second to last gig at Kingfisher.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So you are soon to join the Jazz Ambassadors, the premier big band of the U.S. Army. Big news. Walk us through the decision-making and also what it's kind of felt like to share with your friends and family.
Yeah, no, it's been a whirlwind in a good way. It was a very kind of last-second situation. The band needed a replacement. The bass player had gotten pulled for something, and they needed someone really quick. They basically kind of skipped some of the usual recruitment process. Like I didn't record any videos, didn't do anything like that. So it was really I mean, in this calendar year, had my first kid. My son came in February, and then this audition was around June. So me and about 7 or 8 people came in, internal recs, and we auditioned. And I had 2 or 3 days to decide once it was through. So it was a very exciting and fast kind of process. So,
but you must have at least floated the possibility of joining the Army. So can you share about your interest there and what ultimately made you decide, okay, the timing is workable and this feels like a good decision for me and my family? Yeah.
So honestly, like you said, it was kind of in the back of my mind. Like if one of these positions open up, like I know Will really well and Ryan and Eric, who's already in the band, and know them. It was, and I, funny enough, had actually auditioned for the Coast Guard band. Renee McGee, one of the trumpet players from UNC, had mentioned that one being open. So that didn't work out, and it's on the radar. But a big part, the fact that I wasn't obsessing over this for 2 years, and this is what's going to make me okay if I get this gig. It felt like a God thing. It was very last second. It was honestly in the audition, I was not 100% expecting to get it with the other cats that were there. And it turned out. So me and Liv prayed on it and thought about it, and for the 2 days we had, and it really felt like the timing of it with my first son coming. It felt, a lot of the people in the band, it was really nice. They're calling me and texting me after the audition to ask if I have questions, and very warm in that way. So those are some factors. It was definitely a whirlwind, but it was exciting. So.
Well, congratulations. And I love when life, I guess, presents opportunities rather than having to strategically plan it out always. Yeah. And you mentioned some mutual friends from the area. I know MoBetta and Eric. And so I'm sure you're very familiar with what that might look like from their stories. But can you share what you think the next few months or even year might look like with training and all of that?
Yeah, so, I'm just trying to get it together for basic training, make sure I don't get hurt through that. And they've been great, Will and Ryan Hansler and Eric, in terms of sharing their experience and, tips for me. But it's really, it's going to be all on God to get me through that. And then once that's done, they're super accommodating. They're going to help me out with figuring out where we want to live up there. We've done a lot of moving, so we really want to find a good spot and just kind of hunker down. But yeah, we're probably by the end of the year, we'll be up in that area by February at the latest, probably, officially in the Maryland DMV area. So yeah, it's a quick turnaround, but at the same time, they're super gracious and helpful and accommodating with the transition. So yeah.
And we were chatting a little bit before hitting record about how you still will be part of this jazz community. When I think of some of the current Jazz Ambassador players, I do feel like they are part of the Durham and wider Triangle jazz world. So do you anticipate still doing some gigs around here, knowing that we don't know everything, I guess?
Oh, definitely. And that's a big part of the gig, is that, I've always had a 9 to 5 and then tried to play when I can. And especially with my son now, I already, want to make sure I have time with my wife, time with family, and now time with him. This gig will free some things up in terms of, our family's still here. So we'll come and visit. I can still come out here and play. And we used to live in Shelby past Charlotte. So 4 hours then, now it's, 5.5. Similar situation, obviously different with a kid, but we're still going to be involved and definitely be coming back in the area, which is great.
And how do you want to grow as a musician, and where do you feel like you were in your musical journey here that this kind of fit in as a next step?
I'm super excited to kind of dig into like big band rep and, playing a band consistently, just like here at Kingfisher, being able to play with Tinashe and Bean and learn from them every week for almost 2 years now. To do a similar thing with the band's going to be great. And just to get in a different scene will be great too. In my playing career, I've played other places, but this has been home base since I've started. So to really be challenged in that way. And you get something from everybody. So I'm excited to, people like Taurus Mateen are up there, and people, it's going to be exciting to see what connections are made and what God does up there and who I get connected to and vice versa. So I'm super excited to get stretched in that way, not just with the band, but also in that local scene, to be exposed to different things. What's
a surprise in how you've processed the news, or have you learned anything, any self-awareness from going through this very abrupt process?
The illusion of control, I think for me, I can be a type A person, and I can really I can get into fears about the future because I think I can control things. I can control right now, but this whole year has just shown me I show up, Christ is going to do things, and I'm going to get worked on through whatever is put in front of me. I think I have a lot of new fears now, obviously going to basic and a whole new different culture that I'm completely green to. It's going to push me in new ways, and I think I'm going to be a different person coming out the other side of even just basic, So, those are some thoughts.
And as someone who is leaving the jazz community in Durham for a little while, and of course you'll still be a part of it, but is there anything that you want to share with some of the younger musicians who are coming in to really make their time meaningful? And how have you been able to create community and still grow at the local level here?
Yeah, just play with people that are better than you, and just be open to everything. Don't go into every situation new. And that's what I try to do every time I play and do. And I think a lot growing up too, I had this illusion that you have to only do one, you have to be in one lane, and that's the lane you have to get good at. And if you don't stick to one lane, just being open to different experiences. Like, for example, playing in this trio the last 2 years has completely stretched me in different ways because I was open to it, and just keep going out, meeting new people, and you get a grain of salt from everybody. So don't take anything personal and just keep going out. I think that's what has done a lot for me.
And we are speaking downtown, so you might hear some classic Durham downtown noises during this interview. But is there anything you want to share about Kingfisher? And also, who do you think will take the reins for this classic jazz jam that happens on Tuesdays from 9 to 11? Is that right?
Yeah, so obviously, we're just carrying the legacy of Dr. Horton. And Bean's still here, Tinashe is still here. It's still going to be the same spirit, and the same thing is going to be here. Whoever takes that spot is going to be very lucky to have them to grow from. And I'm excited to see what happens. I'm not sure, but I'm super excited to see this. It's super special to be a part of this, to see how many people have grown from it, and just that, I'm excited to see. I'm not sure, but yeah, I know that it'll be the same. Tinashe's here, Blue's here, Bean is here, and it's going to be whoever fills that seat is going to grow from it and rise to the occasion. I know. So
And of course, we're speaking about Dr. Brian Horton, may he rest in peace. And of course, anyone who is plugged into the scene knows of his legacy, but it is always wonderful to hear stories about just the impact he had. And you've had such a legacy here. You're an icon, Kevin. Thank you so much for what you've contributed to the scene, including just seeming like a really exceptional person to work with. So is there anything else you want to share with the jazz community as you head out?
Oh, thank you for having me. And I'm just super grateful to have been, to have grown up in the way that I did, and to be here and grown in the ways I did through. There's so many people in this area that have, so much deep experience to grow from. I could be in the middle. I grew up in Illinois. I could be in the middle of rural Illinois with nothing around me, but here I am, and with all these people to pour into me. So I'm super grateful for that, and lucky that Durham, the Triangle, all this will still be here too. I can come back and meet new people and see old faces and still have it 5-6 hours away. So yeah.
Well, we look forward to having you come back, of course, when you visit. And thank you so much for speaking with us. I hope that I can get your life story, I guess, another time, but you've got to get to your gig at Kingfisher right now. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much.
MoBetta Ledbetter, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Glad to be here.
Surprise, I was speaking with Kevin earlier, and then I saw you here, and I'm so glad to catch you while you're in town. I thought it'd be nice to get your thoughts on Kevin joining the Jazz Ambassadors. So were you part of the persuasion tactics to get him to join, or any reactions to him joining pretty shortly?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, Kevin and I have known each other for a while, and I know he's come up to visit DC since I've been there, and we've talked about it. He's asked me how my experience has been in the Navy band, and then he also played with Eric all the time. So the band he's joining, Eric Williams, has been in it, and it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's different, and it's definitely going to leave an impact of him leaving the Durham scene and just the North Carolina scene, but it is a good move, especially family-wise and all that stuff. But the craziest thing is September makes 4 years.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah. It's crazy how time flies. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's just time is flying.
What would you say you need to know to be successful in working with the Navy or the Army in this jazz context, would you say?
Knowing that it's keep your expectations in check. There's change that will happen, but it's going to be slower than, sometimes you want it. Been learning that the hard way, but it's been good to see the progress over the past 4 years I've been in it. So, but he's going to make a big impact.
Yeah. Well, we're sad to lose him, but then I feel like I know of you being in town fairly regularly, and it sounds like he still has family here. So how have you been able to manage that and kind of splitting your time?
It just depends. I mean, I like coming down here, especially being a bass player. That's one of the best bass shops here. I got friends and family here. So when I'm not doing much up there, which literally varies, you can actually come down. It's within the Liberty leave zone, which is great. So I don't have to take leave to come down. It just varies schedule to schedule.
Yeah. And what is basic training like for Navy? Is there an analog there with what it'll look like for Army, and is it what you expected?
Army's definitely gonna be a lot harder than Navy joint. That's all I know, but it's to be honest with you, the biggest thing is just it's a mental roadblock for most people. It's they're trying to mold and shift the mindsets of young folks. So especially when I was in my early mid 20s, it really didn't affect me that much. It's more so you just got to know that when you get out, you already got your stuff established versus somebody who doesn't have an idea of what they're really trying to do or going after. It's just it's one of them obstacles to get to the promised land. And
what made you decide to join the Navy?
The opportunity came, and I was well, we just came out the pandemic. You remember that was some crazy times. And, I didn't want to go at first, but I'm thankful I did. It aligns with what I'm trying to, it allows me to do with stuff I do want to do in my life. So
could you share more of where you think you are on your path and how the Navy has kind of informed your music career interests and where you might see that going?
It's definitely been a good thing, especially financially. And also it's moving up to the DC area I do miss it down here in North Carolina, but there's a lot of things that has like opened doors just being in the DC area and being connected with the musicians up there while still being connected in North Carolina. And also it's like, there's a lot of folks up there, so it did expand the horizons. And I've been blessed, fortunate to just be in the know of all like the heavy cats up there.
I think it's cool how there is this like pipeline of North Carolina to U.S. Army or Navy in the jazz space. And are you from North Carolina originally?
No, I kind of was in the Southern Virginia part, like the Hampton Roads area. But being in the military family, we moved around, but that's where we settled. But the best part is I'm still a North Carolinian. My license says North Carolina Greensboro. So, yeah, it's cool.
Do you have any thoughts on what might be next for you, or what are you kind of playing around with in your head?
Just, taking every day with stride, like with the military stuff, while balancing it and still being able to do freelance stuff and stuff that makes me happy on the outside. It's all about balance.
Well, do you have any words for Kevin as he works on this transition, and just any affirmations you might have for him, because it is a big move to go from here to that with his family?
Yeah, Kevin and I were talking actually, not so long, it was maybe a day or so ago. I was like, yeah, just remember, what's your reason why? Like, your family, faith, whatever it is, like, just remember that, and it'll get you through even some of the darkest times, and you'll be fine. Because like once you get out of it, you'll look back at it and kind of laugh.
Is that kind of your approach to how you stay grounded?
Yeah. And then also just surround yourself with good, like-minded musicians. Like, the good thing is, since I've been up there, a lot of great musicians have, even from North Carolina, have like moved up that way. So like friends and stuff, as well as making new friends in the area. So like Ryan Hansler, he joined because I was in the band, and we made a big impact. Eric being up there was one of like things that made it like, okay, I got a friend, I got a bro that's up there. And then I've mixed and mingled a lot of folks up there. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a lot of cool people.
It's so important to be able to see the trajectories of others and be able to then envision that for yourself as something more accessible. And you had talked to me a bit about how you have a little bit of a break and then you're going back. So how are you going to use the rest of this time in the summer period?
A lot of gigging. I have a few gigs, one with my bro Krishan. I got one of my annual gigs I like to do in Charlotte that I'm glad to be back on. Luckily the schedule lined up this year. Last year didn't work out, but this year worked out. Yeah, just kind of gigging, spending time with friends, family, just trying to enjoy. I mean, the time flies by so fast, so it's like just making the most out of every day.
And I saw you were flying home, or you shared that, right?
Yep.
And I'm curious about if you were in charge of all of the gigs of like what kind of music you would play and the venue would be open to it, where would you kind of choose to go? What would you do?
That's kind of hard because I'm one of those ones who likes to play a lot of various things. Like flying home I love playing that old swing band stuff, but then coming back here to like the Kingfisher area, it was also just good to hear some stuff that's not just full on the floor straight ahead. So I don't really have anything in particular. It's just wherever the good music is, I'm glad to be there.
I do feel like Kingfisher kind of challenges audiences to appreciate different kinds of jazz, because sometimes being Kevin and Blue can just kind of push things out there and see what reactions there are. They're just experimenting, and I appreciate that about this particular gig.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's like, okay, interesting. I see where they're going. It's like just vibing out, you know? At least that's how I hear it. It's like, but it's a lot of beautiful intricacies in there that is like, you know, it varies night to night. It's not like, okay, how a lot of typical joints where people get tired of playing the same standards or just same way and stuff. It's like they're all locked in. And since they play together so much, it's a band, a cohesion. But
yeah, sure. Well, MoBetta, thank you so much. It's been great to talk with you, and I hope another time we can maybe just sit down and get it all in, like I told with Kevin. But for tonight, it was just nice to see you, and hope that you have a great rest of your visit.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back and great to see you, and looking forward to the next time.
Thank you for listening to Six Count. I'm Xara Wilde. You can let us know what you thought of the episode or recommend a guest by emailing us at sixcountpodcast@gmail.com or by finding us on Instagram at sixcountpodcast. If you'd like to support our work in telling the story of jazz in Durham, you can make a gift to the show by following the link in our episode description. Thanks for listening.